Hello students, hope everyone is fine and doing well. So now we are going to start the new chapter which is complex numbers. Okay, before this chapter in the textbook you have mathematical induction, but the syllabus is removed from the portion. Okay, principles of mathematical induction, delete full chapter. This chapter is deleted by CBSE due to corona issues. Maybe if time is left at the end of the year we will discuss this chapter. So next chapter we left out is complex numbers and quadratic equations. So I think class 10th when you are solving the quadratic equation chapter ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, we had three conditions. One is b square minus 4ac equals to 0 when the quadratic equation has equal solutions. When b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then you had real number distinct solutions, and when b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then we used to write there is no real solutions. Okay, so now in the complex number system we are going to solve this type of questions. B square minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, so in the quadratic equation, if anyone remember the formula, the equation of the formula is just a minute. Let me insert. Anyone remember the quadratic equation formula? X equals to minus b plus or minus under root b square minus 4ac b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So when you have b square minus 4ac is less than 0, so less than 0 means you have under root negative number. So under root negative number, we don't have any real number, or we don't know how to define them till real number system. We are going to introduce another number system which we call as complex numbers, which give the solutions to such type of equation even you have the negative term inside the square root. Okay, so that means till class 10th we don't know how to solve the terms which are negative inside the square root. So from this year onwards you will be able to solve numbers if they are negative inside the square root or cube root, whatever it is. Square root we can solve it. Okay, so what is complex number? Every complex number, the general form of a complex number is here. Here you have z equals to a plus I b or bi, depending on the book there is a different notation. Z equals to a plus ib. This is a complex number general form. How does it look like? Okay, here a is called a real part and the b is called imaginary number. Okay, where a comma b both belongs to any real number. So here I can write a comma b both belongs to real numbers. A and b both are real numbers. That means when I say real numbers, a can be a fraction, b can be a fractional number, a can be root number, b also can be root number, or a or b values can be decimal numbers, right? Or you can say when I say real number, 0 is also a real number, so a can be 0 or b can be 0. It may happen both the numbers can be 0, a be 0 and b is also 0. So let me give some examples of a complex number, like if you have z equals to 1 plus 2i. This is one example of a complex number. Or maybe I can have 2 minus 3i. This is another example of a complex number. Or I can have only like something like this. 2 plus 0 I. 0 I is nothing but 0 only. So that means it is same as 2 only, just a number 2. So based on this property, I can say every real number is a complex number. So can I say every real number is a complex number, but every complex number cannot be a real number. Because if I say 1 plus 2i, this is not a real number. 1 is a real number, 2 is a real number, but 1 plus 2i is not a real number. Okay. So can I say a real number is a subset of complex numbers? Yes, real number is a subset of complex numbers. So complex number is bigger system than the real number system. So these are the examples. Somebody can write 0 minus maybe 3i. This is another example of a complex number. Or you may write 1 upon 2 plus 3 upon 5 I. So this is also another complex number. 1 by 2 plus 3 upon 5 I. Here a value and b value both are fractional numbers. Somebody can write it as 0.1 plus 5.3 I. These are also complex numbers. Okay. So, or one most important thing, it can happen this way also, like you may have root 2 plus you can have root 2 plus 3i. This is a one complex number. Or maybe 2 minus you may have 2 minus 3 root 5 I. This is also a complex number. So these are the different examples of a complex number. So how many complex numbers do you have? Infinite, because real number system itself is a subset of complex number, and complex number system is bigger than the real number system. Okay, now for these numbers, if I want to represent on the graph by taking x-axis as the real axis and y-axis as the imaginary axis, so the points are going to be for 1 plus 2i, the point is going to be 1 comma 2. And similarly for 2 comma minus 3, I can take it as 2 comma minus 3. And similarly where you have 2 plus 0i, I can take it as 2 comma 0. Right? Then 0 minus 3i, so I can take this point as 0 comma minus 3. I'm not representing these numbers on the real number Cartesian plane, x-axis and y-axis. Here instead of x-axis, I call it as a horizontal line as a real axis and vertical line as imaginary axis. Okay. So in that case, I can represent them on the graph also. Okay. So here let me write one more thing. As I said, it can be something 0 plus 0i, where a and b both are 0. Okay. So here I consider b value is 0. Here I consider a value is 0. And here I consider a and b both the values are 0. So obviously when you have a number system, what is the first thing we do? We try to implement the signs, like how can you add them? Can we add the complex numbers? Can we subtract? Can we multiply? Basic operations we will check whether they will be able to work it out or not. Okay. So what I do is I'll take two complex numbers and I'll try to add, subtract. Let's see what we can write. So here I can write this as, let me take first complex number as z1 equals to z1, what happened here? Here it will come Z1 is equals to, let me take first complex number as A plus IB. This is my first complex number. And the second complex number as Z2. Okay. And take second complex number as Z2 equals to C plus ID. So you may have a doubt why you are taking only plus signs here. I am assuming that B value can be a positive value or negative value. If B is negative, then minus into plus is going to be minus. So that's not a problem. Now if I want to add Z1 plus Z2, what we are going to get it? Z1 plus Z2 will come. When I add here, it's very simple adding of two complex numbers. Just when I add them, I'll keep in the mind both the real parts will be added. Here the real part is A and here the real part is C. So both the real parts will be added. It's something like you are adding the polynomials, if you remember. So it will become A plus C. You will add only X variable. You add only Y variable. You cannot add X and Y variable, right? So similarly here real parts will be added and imaginary parts will be added. Here you will get IB plus ID. So I will take I common. You will get it as B plus D. That's it. This is the addition of two complex numbers. So if I take an example, add them, you will get Z1 plus Z2 is equals to, just we have to add the real part. First real part is 3 and the second real part is minus 2. So 3 minus 2 plus second real part is, first imaginary part is here, minus 5 will come. So I'll put minus 5 and the second imaginary part is plus 5. So minus 5 plus 5 into I. So finally what do you get? Which is equals to 3 minus 2 is 1 plus minus 5 plus 5 is going to be 0. So it is going to come 0 I. Okay, so this is the addition of two complex numbers. Understood? Now similarly it comes subtraction of two complex numbers. If you want, this is the addition will come. Next case will come as subtraction. So subtraction also as same as subtraction of two complex numbers. Let me take again Z1 and Z2 are the same complex numbers, A plus IB, and let me copy these two steps. So Z1 as A plus IB, Z2 as C plus ID. When I want to subtract Z1 minus Z2, then same, it will come A minus C plus B minus D. The real parts will be subtracted and imaginary parts will be subtracted. Okay, both the real parts and both the imaginary parts will be subtracted, separated. So that's it. When I want, hello students, so we continue. So here we discuss how to subtract the two polynomials. Two real parts will be subtracted and two imaginary parts will be subtracted. So here I have two minus signs because formula has one minus sign. Here A minus C, right? So minus one minus comes from the formula and another minus is because here you have the second real part is the negative number. So minus of minus is going to be plus. So 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. And here also 7. Here also you have two minus signs because one from formula and another minus is because second real number is, second imaginary part number is negative. So minus of minus is going to be plus. So it will be minus into minus is plus. 7 plus 3 is 10. So 7 plus 10 I. Okay. So now next we have is multiplication and division. So before we go for multiplication and division, let me introduce a few more concepts. We have discussed here I value as under root minus 1. So this is the definition of I value. So because here under root terms in the real number system, they are negative. That's why we said no real solution. So if I want to solve it, so I will take that negative value under root minus 1. If I have minus 5 under root, then I can write it as minus 1 into 5. So that is under root minus 1 into under root 5 is going to be under root minus 5. So that under root minus 1 value, I am going to take it as I value, because under root 5 is perfectly fine. It is a irrational number, also a rational number, we have no problem. So I'll take I value as under root minus 1. If I do square on both sides, so this will become I square equals to minus 1. So I square value is minus 1. If I take I cube value, if I want to find I cube, you can write this as I square into I. We already knew I square value is minus 1 into I. So minus 1 into I becomes minus I. Now if I want to find I to the power 4, I to the power 4 is I square into I square. That is minus 1 into minus 1, which is plus 1. So here you have I to the power of 4 value is plus 1. So these 4 values you have to remember. Based on this, you have one more question, something like you have simplify I to the power 235. Here I know I to the power 4 value is 1. Okay. So I'll see this 235, if I divide with 4, 235 upon 4, it will divide 58 times and the quotient 3 will be left out. 58 into 4 is 232, 232 plus 3, 235. Okay. So whatever the power they give here, exponent value, that power value will always divide with 4. I'll find the quotient, and if any remainder, I'll mention the remainder. I'll not go to the decimals. Okay. So this I to the power 235, you can write it as I to the power of 4 whole to the power 58. Because here I can use that identity. A power m whole power n is a power m into n. So 4 into 58 is 232 into I cube. This is the remainder which is left out. Now here I to the power 4 value I can substitute as 1. 1 power 58 is going to be again 1. So I written 1 here. And I cube value is minus 1, which I got it here, minus 1. So I cube value I kept it as I cube value is minus I. So 1 into minus I is going to be minus I. Now if you have negative value minus 1 whole to the power 235, this you can write as minus I, you can write as minus 1 into I whole to the power 235. Then you can use again identity here, A into B whole to the power m equals to A power m into B power m. So that's what I use here, A power m into B power m. So minus 1 whole to the power of 235. Because 235 is a odd number, so minus 1 whole to the power of odd number will give you always a negative number. So that I written here minus 1, and I to the power of 458 will give me a plus 1. So I written plus 1 here into I cube value is minus 1. So we have minus 1 into I into minus I is going to be totally final answer is plus I. Okay, so there will be one more question. We have maybe 1755. So that also will be divided with 4. Find the quotient and remainder if any. Then you can find accordingly. So then we discuss about the multiplication of two complex numbers. which is Z1, I have taken as Z1 equals to A plus IB, Z2 equals to C plus ID. When I multiply Z1 into Z2, so it is A plus IB into C plus ID. This multiplication is something you like polynomial. How do you multiply the polynomial? Same pattern we follow. First A multiply with C, so it will be AC. Then A multiply with ID, so it will be I into A into D, IAD. Then IB will multiply with C, so IBC. Then you multiply IB with ID, so I into I is going to be I square, B into D. Now here I square value I can write it as minus 1. So minus into plus is going to be minus, so this is going to be minus BD. And here it is AC. Both these terms does not included with I. So I written as together AC minus ID, AC minus BD. And these two terms having I as a quotient. So take I common, so you get AD plus BC. Okay. So this is the one way to multiply the two complex numbers is you remember this formula and substitute the values here, or if you know, just you go to the process. How do we multiply the number? So let me take the example. Let me copy both the things here. Division. So you have to recall all your class 9th rationalization topics. Okay. So the entire class 11th, most of the time we are going to refer class 9th formulas, and when you go to the class 10th, you are going to refer class 10th formulas. Z1 upon Z2, if I want to divide two complex numbers. Okay. So what do you get is A plus IB, A plus IB upon C plus ID. Okay. So when I do here, I go for the rationalization of the denominator. Okay. How do I do the rationalization of the denominator? I think everybody remembers how we did the rationalization of the denominator, right? The denominator, just the same number will be there, but I have to change the sign. C plus ID is there in the denominator, so it will become C minus ID. Even here also C minus ID. Oh, C minus ID. So this is how I rationalize the numerator. When you rationalize the numerator or denominator here, I think A plus IB into C plus ID. If I do rationalization and the simplification and multiplication, I think by this time you learn how to multiply. Here I already multiplied A plus IB, C plus ID, the same process. Here also, if both the numerators are multiplied, A plus IB multiply with C plus ID, I think I am going to get, I am writing without doing any calculation. A into C is AC plus BD, AC plus BD plus I into, here you are going to get CB minus AD. Okay, so you do the calculation, then you will understand how do we get that one. Now when I multiply the denominator, look at the denominator. Denominator is A plus B into A minus B. A plus B into A minus B formula is A square minus B square. Here let me do A square means I'll get it as, okay, no problem, I'll write here C square minus A square value is C square. Now minus B square. B square means here B value is nothing but ID, right? So denominator will become ID square. So let me put here id square. Okay, so when I move to the next fraction here, so here what I do is this numerator I'll keep as it is. There is no change in the numerator because we already simplified it. Now look at the denominator. This c square will remain as it is. C square. This is id whole square. That means I square into d square. I square value is going to be minus 1 into d square. Already have minus sign, so minus into minus is going to be plus. Then here you are going to go d square. So it is going to be d square. C square plus d square. Why plus sign is coming? Generally a plus b into a minus b we have a square minus b square only. But here I am getting plus sign because of I. I square also will give me one negative sign. Already formula have one negative sign. So minus into minus is going to be plus. So this is what you do for the division of two complex numbers. So let me take an example of this one. Maybe here I'll write example. Yeah. So we discussed how to divide. Now let me take an example. Z1 upon Z2 equals to 1 minus 3i upon 1 plus 2i. Sorry, 2 plus 2i. Just to give me a minute. Yeah, here I taken Z1 as 1 minus 3i, Z2 as 2 plus 2i. So when I do rationalization of the denominator, it will become 2 minus 2i, 2 minus 2i. So both the numerators I multiplied here, 1 minus 3i into 2 minus 2i. According to this formula, I have c square plus d square in the denominator, right? So c square plus d square means here c value is 2 and d value is also 2. So 2 square plus 2 square. Now then here I have open up the bracket. 1 multiply with 2, that is 2. Then again 1 multiply with 2i. So plus into minus is minus 2i. Then minus 3i is multiplied with plus 2. So minus 6i will come. Then minus 3i multiply with minus 2i. Minus into minus is plus. 3 to just 6. I into I is going to be I square. So this I square value is going to be minus 1. Minus 1 into 6 is minus 6. So plus into minus 6 is going to be minus 6. Finally it is minus 6. So instead of plus 6 I square, I'll get it as minus 6. So 2 minus 6 is going to be minus 4. Minus 2i minus 6i is going to be minus 8i upon 8. So here I have separated the denominator to represent in the standard form. Minus 4 upon 8 minus 8 upon 8i upon 8. So minus 8i upon 8. If you want to simplify further, 4 will get cancelled twice. So it will be minus 1 by 2 minus 8 and 8 will get cancelled. So 1 will come. 1 into I is going to be I. So final answer is going to be minus 1 by 2 into minus I. Okay. So this is how we do. This is same as the polynomials which we solve, rationalization of the numbers. Everything is same. Now we discussed all four mathematical operations on the complex. How to add, how to subtract, how to multiply, how to divide. There are a few more properties. Closure property. Closure property means the sum of two complex numbers is going to be again a complex number. Okay. You are not going to get any other number. The sum of two complex numbers is again a complex number. Even the difference of two complex is again give you a complex number. As I said, imaginary part can be 0. Okay. That means every real number itself is a complex number. Next, commutative. That is, if Z1 and Z2 are two complex numbers, then Z1 plus Z2 will give you same as Z2 plus Z1. Okay. So that is the commutative property which we have here. Associative property also. Now a commutative property for the difference of two complex numbers will not hold. Z1 minus Z2 is not same as Z2 minus Z1. Okay, for the difference, commutative property does not hold. Associative property, associative is Z1 plus Z2. If you have three complex numbers, Z1, Z2, Z3, then first you add Z1 plus Z2, whatever the answer you get, then add that answer to Z3 will be same as first you add Z2 and Z3, whatever the answer you get, add that answer to Z1. So both will give you the same answer. So adding order of the numbers, in which order you are adding them, does not make any difference of final answer. Existence of identity for every for addition, the identity element is going to be 0 plus I0. What is identity? If any number I take plus identity number will give me the number which I assume. For example, 2 plus 0 is 2, 3 plus 0 is 3, 5 plus 0 is 5. So for like that, in the real number system, 0 is the additive identity that we already studied in lower classes. So in the complex number system, 0 plus I0 is going to be identity number. Next, inverse, additive inverse, even for negative numbers also, identity will remain same. For additive inverse, if A plus IB is there, then minus A minus IB is going to be additive inverse. What do you mean by additive inverse? If I add two numbers, A and its additive inverse, then I have to get an identity element. Okay, here identity element is 0 plus I0. Fine. So for A plus IB, what number I have to add so that my answer is going to be 0 plus IB. Sorry, 0 plus 0I. So you have to add the negative of that number. If A plus IB is there, then I add minus A minus IB. So then both will be get cancelled. So I'll get 0 plus I0. Okay. So that's what they said. For the difference of two complex numbers, I said closure property satisfies. Associative, commutative won't satisfy. For this multiplication also, Z1 into Z2, the product of two complex numbers will give me again a complex number. So closure property satisfies. Commutative property also will satisfy. So you multiply Z1 into Z2 or Z2 into Z1, the answer is going to be same. Associative property will satisfy. For multiplicative identity, the complex number identity number is going to be 1 plus 0I or I0. Okay, for multiplicative inverse, I have to do the reciprocal that we already discussed, how to do the reciprocal. For example, A plus IB is there, then the multiplicative inverse will become 1 upon A plus IB. A plus IB into 1 upon A plus IB, it is going to be 1. So Z is a complex number, its multiplicative inverse is going to be 1 upon Z. For example, 2 is a number, then its inverse will be 1 by 2. If 1 by 3 is a number, its inverse will be 3. That we already studied in lower classes, right? Same happens with the complex number. So for 1 by Z, if I do rationalization, then you are going to get this number. Then division of complex numbers is again a complex number, so closure property satisfy. If I come to the commutative, Z1 upon Z2 is not same as Z2 upon Z1, so commutative won't satisfy. Associative won't satisfy. Okay. Inverse does not exist. Identity element does not exist under division. Okay. So then the powers of I we already discussed. Square roots are removed from the syllabus. What are the square roots of? Okay. So that we won't discuss. Then you have the plenty of examples. So these examples we discuss in next class. Okay. Or if you are able to solve, no problem, we can solve it. Is that clear? So in today's class, we discuss all the introduction parts and basic arithmetic operations on two complex numbers. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.